Is this already public? Can you please go a little bit somewhere else? Thanks. I see. I am streaming. I don't have any viewers yet. Now I seem to have a viewer. Okay. Not anymore. Maybe I should just start, and if someone comes around, that's cool. But I should leave a little message. Hey, if anyone... Okay, now I will look a bit less on the left screen and more on my main screen. I should get a third screen for these kind of things. Kinda running out of space here. Okay. That looks kind of good. Now, my goal is to make a wind sound. I already prepared a track where Perlin noise mod is instantiated and it creates some noise constantly. Now, I have a track here with a chain, and the audio rate modulator gets the signal from the Perlin noise output pre-fader, because if it was post-fader it would take this minus infinite decibels into account, but we don't want to hear the Perlin noise mod, we just want to use it. So now I have white noise. Wait, what is this? Okay, I have less than 2600 kbps. Yeah, I guess I can change that. My internet connection just sucks ass. I'm from Germany. Okay. So I have white noise. And now a filter. And this filter when it's on bandpass sounds like this. So I can dial in the Perlin noise. Hello. We have one viewer here who is watching me making wind sounds with my new Perlin noise mod. Okay. So just in case that someone watches this after I have streamed it, I don't know if people do that. I don't always watch the streams of the people when they've already ended, because of the lack of edits and stuff like that. But just in case, I want to explain what I'm doing here. Now I use the procedural procedural mode of this plugin, so that the randomized curve that gets created here is always the same for this segment of the project. If I actually made the loop longer, it would create a longer noise segment. Obviously, I need to have some noise there as well. Okay, we have two different types of noise here now that might be a little bit confusing in terms of terms. We have this noise oscillator from the synthesizer, and we have the noise in the Perlin noise mode. So I always have to specify now which noise I'm talking about when I'm keeping on talking. Anyway, now I'm talking about the noise of the Perlin noise, and it will now use a noise segment that is made for these two bars. We can see there are always two bumps here on the first loop. These two bumps. Then we have this dip in the second loop. It is always predictable how the noise turns out. And that's the cool thing about this plugin. No other randomizer that I ever saw can do that. Oh, hi Danny. Yeah, I made another modulator plugin. I can actually do that. I can show you that. You can turn this a little bit into audio rate. Let me make a new track for that. So when I'm instantiating the Perlin noise mod now and not muting it, I can just turn up the rate and the octave parameter. And suddenly I can produce tonal noise. Actually kinda satisfying, but yeah, when you're turning up the speed so much, then you can really hear that it's reading from an array with noise because it repeats so fast. It feels a bit like these old textures in old games where you can really see how they are repeating all the time. That's the same emotion that I get from turning the speed up on this thing. I still wanted to have this feature just in case someone likes audio rate modulation with Perlin noise for some reason. Okay. Yeah, it was definitely a unique type of noise, so it does have its place, I guess. It's just that you cannot make it individual nicely. Oh wait, why is this thing now so fast? Oh, I was tweaking the wrong plugin the entire time. So when I turn up the octaves parameter, I get a more of a nervous signal where you can see that it's like a little bit more complex. I could put an oscilloscope after this if you wanted to see that with more detail than in the little oscilloscope of the plugin. Then you can really see how the octave parameter has added detail to this modulation compared to no octaves, which is basically just a normal randomizer now. Now from now on I will use my own oscilloscope because I haven't programmed it for no reason. Yeah. Now one thing about my Perlin noise mod is that you can turn up the width, but unfortunately that doesn't make a lot of sense, at least not here in Bitwig, because the audio rate modulator that can pick up this signal to modulate stuff can only input mono signals, or I don't know, it tranquates the signal to mono or to mid only. but we can still learn something from this visual, which is that this width parameter just gives the right channel a little offset from the left channel. And you can simulate this by just having another Perlin noise modulator and give it a new name and giving that a phase offset manually, maybe one of 180%. And now you could just manually do some left-right stuff. I wanna try that now. So I will put a layer here. And, oh, the layer comes after the synthesizer. I will put a filter here. And the same filter again. Oh wait, no, the structure is wrong. Okay, I have to think a little bit more. Wait, how do I have to do that? Okay, now I get it. I just have to have another audio rate modulator down here, right? And that receives from Perlin 2. Now we have both signals. Oh wait, I was initially right, I had to use a layer. Sorry. I'm sometimes not making a lot of sense when working live. Now, tool. Pan left. And now for this filter, that is panned right. Can use the other modulator. Now I could do two things, because this is definitely too wide for my taste. One of the things is I could back down from hard panning this thing, or I could go back to the Perlin noise modulator and just turn down the phase so that it's closer to the original signal. On 0% it shouldn't have a lot of width anymore. It's still a different setting, but it's not moving so much. Now instead dialing in a little bit of this. And now it feels a little bit three-dimensional. Or very far away from the other channel. Okay, nice. So the basic things work very well. I should give these some more distinct names. This is a low part of the wind and it's left. And this is low right. And now I want to add another one. I don't want to use panning just yet. Nice, now we'll make another one for the right channel. Let's go. So the Perlin noise modulator is definitely a nice tool for creating wind. I don't know how important that is to a lot of musicians, but I find that pretty cool. Oh, this is some softer wind. Actually, that's pretty cool. I want to go softer on these ones too. Now this feels a little bit like in the Netherlands on some days at the sea. Now this invites me to turn down the rate of these instances, even though they are not lined up anymore then. But actually, I could just type something in here. And then just do the same on the other side, and then it should line up again. Yeah. Could use unique octave settings for each one, though I already like that they are so high. Nice, some movement on the left side. Now I want some movement on the right side as well. But it should be on a higher frequency to have it a little bit more interesting. Okay. Now I have a wind sample that will always be the same when I export it. At least if I haven't made a mistake in the code. Let me test that actually. So I'm bouncing this now. And then I'm bouncing it again. Oh wait, that shouldn't make a lot of sense because we still have this noise oscillator in here that constantly produces new noise. So it will not work in a null test, except if I bounce out a noise sample from synth 1 before. I hope I copied that. No, of course I didn't. Okay, let me just bounce that really quickly. Okay. Should be able to just put that here, and then it's a hybrid track, I guess. I have never used that feature in Bitwig before. Okay, it doesn't work. Why? Oh, I have still muted that. Okay, wait. Noise synth. I just have to keep the organization nice here. This is not used anymore. Noise segment. Okay. And now I can try to bounce it. There is still something else that can go wrong here though, which is the filters themselves. Just because my modulator is procedural doesn't mean that the filters are always exactly the same. But we can still try. Okay, just as I expected. Just at the beginning of the sample there was a little click because the plugin needs like half a second or so to really get started with what it should be doing. But then it is just working. Let's put a group to that. Now this is the null test group. And there I can instantiate Signalizer to just look at the noise floor. Something that audio enthusiasts always like to do. What do we have here? Like minus 170 decibels. That is pretty much the noise floor of the entire project. Well, not quite. When I'm stopping playback, then there is nothing. So it is not perfect, but it's also flat spectrum and down to, what was that? Minus 665 or 170 or something like that. Way below audible range. So it works. Nice. Hey, where's my noise? Wait, was it always so noisy? Oh, I had run the noise and that's why. Now, I always like to make videos about what should be done and what shouldn't be done, and I once made a video about one shouldn't start at 1 in a project, and this is a great example. Why? Because my plugin is not the only one that benefits from stuff not starting at 1. If we had started at 9 now, we could just have something before that time, so that later when we export it, the plugin has already worked a little bit and doesn't need that time anymore to get started. I think we don't even need this one. Could just be not there. Yeah, that's consistent. So if we just not start at 1, then this is also settled and it just sounds completely the same throughout the entire time. But now it has a different noise segment. This time talking about noise from the Perlin noise. So all of my settings don't work anymore exactly like they did before. I could take this opportunity to just search for a noise segment that I like most. Just try different bars. Oh wow, this really showed how different it can be to just choose a different noise section. I thought to myself, why am I even doing this? It all sounds the same probably anyway, but no, it doesn't. Here we really have a bar where the noise comes up high, which it usually doesn't do. And it's different. So apparently it is worth it to search through the different noise sections to find the one that sounds most like wind and then export something from there. That's too flashy. Still too flashy. We are in the flashy section here. Maybe a little bit. Ah! I want to find a really good one. This one is good. So now I found a section of noise that sounds good to me, and because this was not totally random but procedurally generated, we could actually save this without constantly having to record what we are doing, which I technically do because I'm streaming, but in a normal DAW workflow, it's good if you can just save your ideas directly. Now I've created a noise sample that I'm very happy with my little procedural generator. I think for now I will just keep it here and try something different because yeah, it's a stream and I don't wanna sit on making noise all the time. Oh, now I can actually put stuff somewhere else. That's nice. I'm not bound to using this bar anymore. Okay, what could I do next? Does anyone have a cool idea? Oh wait, you wrote something. Maybe having an option to set the seed would be nice. Actually, this option exists because I have thought of everything. There is a seed button. When you're pressing it, it goes away from the very nice number 69,420 to any other number. Yeah. Oh, I know what I want to do next. I want to show you another feature of this modulator that can be used in creative ways. For that I need a tonal sound. So I'll just use synth 1 for now. Wait, what? Oh, this was an audio track. Okay. Then it doesn't work, of course. Okay, synth 1. I need a melody or something. Or actually, do I? I don't know. Maybe I just need a chord. nice. I was very lucky with this one. Actually, this chord progression is so nice, I should save this project. Okay, because what I want to do now is using Perlin noise to add vibrato to this signal, because I want to put my Perlin noise modulator into Null as well. That's like the main idea why I even started this project. I have not done that yet, but I can already simulate having done that by just attaching the output from the Perlin noise modulator to a delay. Gladly, there is delay plus that I can set to milliseconds, so it works a little bit like my delay in Null, which for Bitwig users it could mean they don't need Null because they can just do this, but you could also interpret it as this is pretty hard to set up, so you are waiting for Null to be released. Depends on the taste of workflows, I guess. Okay, so I put this to linear now. Only use 1 octave so that the triangular movements can be seen very nicely. And I use tempo sync procedural, so I can have something that moves to the beat. Now I can use an audio rate modulator to send that to the delay. You can already see why I wanna add all this to Null, because this is a lot of steps for something that could just be a single plugin that is being instantiated. But it's also cool that there is just a modulator that you can use like this if there is just no plugin for a certain idea. Okay, which one do I use? The first one, I guess. Oh wait, no. I should give this a better name. It's kind of confusing when there are no names yet. Okay. This is the output from the Perlin noise mod. I can also choose this, I guess. I don't know what's more clear. Whatever. So this doesn't sound like pitching yet, because the delay of delay plus is set to fade mode on in it, and you have to set it to repitch so that it uses well, resampling techniques in order to change the rate. And suddenly you get these nice scratchy artifacts. Interesting. I can hear the artifacts from the delay interpolation. So apparently delay plus doesn't use like a super sophisticated interpolation method for the delay. I guess there is still a reason to use third-party plugins, but for now it is good enough for me. We also have a steppy modulator here, a steppy interpolation mode. This one makes more sense on percussive material, and the round one would sound like this here. Okay, cool. Maybe a bit more like this. Yeah, nice. That's how I like to do it. So now I added a nice vibrato. That doesn't sound as good as it would in Null, but it's already pretty okay. What else could I do? Now this is the vibrato layer. Now I want to have a layer that I can send into a reverb. So just instantiating the reverb first. I'm not using the modulation input on purpose because I want to make my own modulation input somehow. Yeah, Raum is cool. I'm feeling a little bit ashamed that this is such a good reverb, because I do want to believe that all of the variety, or how is it pronounced, of reverbs on the internet also have their value and everything, but this is just way too easy. It always sounds so perfectly transparent. I don't get it. It is so flawless that that is already the flaw again in some way. It's really annoying me, but it is still good. I use it. So now I want to have a new excuse why I want to use my modulator, and this could be trying to use a frequency shifter subtly in order to make the stereo image more interesting. I turn the reverb off for now to make that a little bit more obvious. Now I could use my Perlin noise mod to modulate the range. And I will also do that, yes. Made it a little bit softer, which is cool. I must say, I'm starting to get a little bit annoyed by the lack of interpolation, of good interpolation on Delay Plus. Maybe I can actually use my own plugin for that. Even though I have not added the Perlin noise modulator to this yet. This is still the old Perlin noise modulator, but I could also just use the macro modulator, which basically modulates the delay directly. So that should potentially work better. Okay, that sounds a little better, but on such a soft sound, every little artifact comes out, so can't really be blamed on Bitwig. So this is the reverb layer. What else could I do? I could have a really fuzzy layer that is somewhere in the background. Cats are fighting. It's not cool. Okay, that seemed to work out fine as well. I'm just thinking if I missed showing some of the core features now. Maybe we should find another excuse to use Perlin noise mod, but this time with a steppy curve. So this is our pad thingy. Well, it's not quite a pad because it's not so distant, but I think it's kind of a pad. And we have our noise thingy, just like wind. Oh, actually, it loops nice. That's cool. Okay. Yeah. An excuse to use the steppy modulator. Well, for that, we would need something percussive. How could I do that? Should I just import a loop? I guess that would make sense for a stream. Typically, I would take my time with things. Just design new drums. But I don't know. I think that would be too slow now. So let's instead try something fast. It just shouldn't be too cheesy either. Wait, where is the stuff? Oh yeah, this has some drum loops from an old keyboard for children. I think you cannot hear the preview, can you? Okay, I will just import this one. I don't know yet if it will work. I have an idea how I want to do this. I will make a layer, and there will be one dry layer, so that we can always hear the original groove, because the original groove is kind of nice. And there will be another layer with the Perlin noise mod, which will create something steppy. Being muted. Oh yeah, this also sounds interesting when the audio is on. If you want to create noise that can be heard. But for now, I will just make 16th notes without octaves, so that the 16th notes can be heard very nicely. No width. And, oh, I should actually set the width default setting to 0, since no one is ever going to use that anyway. I guess I will have to push an update on this plugin. So, Okay, so this is the steppy Perlin noise stuff. And now we need another layer with the delay plus thingy. This time I keep it on fades, so that on new rates it kinda goes over there without being too noticed. And I will use tempo sync values in the delay. Okay, I set it to unipolar. Then I can apply it to this parameter, which cycles through the different types of 16th notes, like 1/16, 2/16, 3/16, and so on. And this should just randomly skip through the buffer. Yeah. Okay, now this is kind of random, but that was also on purpose. I just wish I could make it even faster. The problem with delay plus, even though it's one of the greatest delays of all time, is that the fastest speed it has is the 16th note, and everything that you can dial in from there is slower than that. They should add some settings for 13th notes or 64th notes or even 128th notes, so that dialing in this modulation here actually makes sense. I think they could do that, but they just didn't do it on purpose to make this UI look very neat and easy to understand, better than as if there were like 5 buttons instead of 3, because this lines up nicely UI wise, but that shouldn't hold them up from getting it right, I think. Anyway, enough of this rant. What else can we do to tweak this? We could change the update rate to something very fast. And listen to how that sounds. Yeah, you can really hear the individual clicks of these transitions now. You would hear it even more on repitch. Now, since this is a feedback delay, we can get a little bit creative here with this, with what's going on here. Or using really low settings for the update rate is also kind of cool. Let's put something into the feedback loop. No. Don't do that. We don't want too much feedback here. Ah, why can't I put this to 6 decibels? That's annoying. Okay, another bandpass filter, please. In parallel. Okay, that's kind of interesting. Even though I must say it was a little bit harder than I thought to dial this in. Nice. Now these are the background percussions. Oh, I renamed the delay at some point. It could be confusing. Okay. Oh wait. Right, this was the feedback loop. Nice. Now it has its own frequency space a little bit, and I can sidechain it from the dry signal so that the dry signal is the most prominent one. I hope I find a good way to sidechain this, because it's not a pure kick. It might be a little bit hard to do that. Am I on the right track? Yeah, I am. Okay, let's see. Can't be done like this because it takes too many of the other samples then. Maybe like this. Okay. No, wait. What does it do here? Oh, I get it. It's because of that weird bass sound that's also in there. But why is there a bass sound? That really doesn't have to be there. Hey, I wanted to click on this one. Okay. There is some discontinuity there, but I will just ignore it for now. I don't have time all day. Dial in some look ahead here, because we're not triggering from the transient of the kick. That's usually not very nice. I can also make it a little bit shorter by also using a, if I can touch it anyway, the low cut. They shouldn't be too resonant, or else that would also make the sample longer that goes in here. Yeah. No. Okay. I should actually just throw this bass thing away because it doesn't fit to the harmonies and stuff. Is this a sound that wants to be dispersed? but now I'm getting a bit sidetracked here. I have 4 viewers obviously, but still, since I'm kind of running out of content, obviously this is not the biggest plugin ever, so you can't do all kinds of stuff with it. It's just a little tool for creating Perlin noise, and you have to find your own applications for how you want to use it. I personally want to use it by adding it to my other plugin Null, and probably some other plugins in the future. And you can do with it whatever you want. I would also like to show the CC feature, but I don't know. It's for Reaper users mostly, and I am not very good at Reaper, because in Reaper I was told it's easier to modulate plugin parameters with MIDI CC output. So this button enabled MIDI CC output. But here in Bitwig that's more of a hassle, I guess. I could demonstrate it a little bit. So how did that work? Let's just use a chain here. Oh no, let's use the DC offset tool, right? So the DC offset tool, it just adds some value to the input signal, currently no value. And now I think it was the MIDI modulator. I can use the MIDI modulator, yeah, to get the MIDI CC data to apply it to the DC offset module. And that's a little bit similar to how it works in Reaper, just with a different workflow, but with the same kinda. Why does it? Oh right, okay, I get it. It just added the signal to the signal that already existed. There was already this modulation, so obviously it goes over 1 now. But I think I could just turn it around and then it would cancel out more or less 1. Okay, it cannot be exactly. So as you can see, it doesn't perfectly cancel out. I know why, because I'm not sending a MIDI CC message for every single sample, but I think every 4 or every 8 samples or something like that. And that's being reflected here. We have this audio signal from the Perlin noise mod, and it's kind of being negated by the CC induced signal, and we can see the difference between the accuracy here. I did that because the last time I released a plugin with MIDI CC output, people told me that the MIDI CC output used a lot of CPU, and that was sample accurate. So this time I thought to myself, okay, every 4 or every 8 sample is alright anyway. Most plugins can't even read the parameter changes so fast, so who cares? So this is what you can do as well. You can use MIDI CC. Let's get rid of that again and turn it off. And I think that's all that I have to say for now. So my stream is ending now. Thanks for being here.